My name is Ethan Feinschreiber, and I have a passion for educating the world about snakes. The group of venomous snakes I'd say I've had the most experience with is rattlesnakes. So I didn't expect that it would be too different to find one in Florida. However, Florida is home to a rattlesnake quite unlike most, the Pigmy Rattlesnake. Being the world's smallest rattlesnake, it takes a trained eye to spot one. Cruising dirt roads often solves this issue because they're far easier to see on a road than in their natural environment. Yet to my surprise, it was just off of the road on top of a log that I spotted my target rattlesnake.
Pygmy! Hell yeah! We got one! Okay, I think we're good. This is the Pygmy Rattlesnake, the world's smallest rattlesnake. Now, obviously, it of course gets the name Pygmy because it's a small rattlesnake, but the truth is, it's not quite like other rattlesnakes. Most all rattlesnakes are pretty closely related to one another, and they're all in this sort of group, and that group is the genus Crotalus. However, there's only a few species of snake with a rattle on them that aren't in that group. And this is actually one of them. So this not only is a smaller rattlesnake, it's kind of a different rattlesnake. And its rattle is so small that you can barely even hear it. If anything, it probably maybe doesn't even make much noise at all. Well, most rattlesnakes have a louder rattle to let other predators know that they're there. These guys can't rattle loud enough to really be heard, at least by us humans. Maybe by other predators it could be, but we can't hear it very well, and so other defenses they have is to sort of twitch. I'm not exactly sure why they do that either. They twitch their head and they twitch their tail. Let me know in the comments if you know why they do that as a defense. However, most of their defense is just being reliant on camouflage. These guys, when curled up on fallen logs or being curled up in the leaf litter, are extremely good at camouflage. They blend in very, very well and are almost impossible to see unless you look closely. This is actually one of the most common rattlesnakes here in North Florida. Let's talk about their venom. So their venom is pretty much the same kind of venom that you see in all rattlesnakes. It's a hemotoxin, but because these guys have such a small yield of venom, because they're so small, they pose much less of a threat to humans than other rattlesnake species. So getting bit by this it's not going to kill you. It's certainly not going to kill you unless you're, I guess, highly allergic to the venom, but I consider this definitely not a mildly venomous snake, but it's definitely not considered lethal. Obviously, if you see one of these snakes, don't worry about getting bit by this snake. They don't want to bite you. They will try to stay as far from you as possible. These guys want nothing to do with humans, and they are actually, like all the other snakes out here, are a very important part of this ecosystem. These guys are ambush predators, just like all the other rattlesnakes, and primarily, I think like to go after lizards. They're not really big enough to go after large rodents like diamondback rattlesnakes. However, they're small enough to maybe eat baby rodents, so if they find like a rodent's nest, that's probably something they would absolutely love to feast on. However, these guys also love to feast on lizards, and around here you're going to find a lot of fence lizards, anoles, and skinks, all of which make great food items for this snake. Do these snakes make good pets? And the answer is, I don't know about that. It's pretty much how you'd expect to keep a small rattlesnake. They do have heat-sensing pits that allow them to detect if food is warmer or cooler. Like its larger rattlesnake ancestors, these guys bite, inject venom into their prey, and then release, wait for their prey to die from that venom, and then eventually track where that animal went, and then find it dead and eat it. So these guys are pretty efficient hunters, and they're out here in pretty good numbers. Pygmy rattlesnakes in general are a fairly prevalent snake around the southeastern United States. There's 3 different subspecies. This one right here is the dusky, probably being the most prevalent of the 3. Then there's the Carolina, which is, of course, up by the Carolinas along the Atlantic coast. And then there's the westerns, which you get actually all the way as far west as Oklahoma. But definitely the dusky is the most common and the easiest to find. Nonetheless, I'm still a very happy camper to have come across this snake for the first time. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to educate yourself on the dusky Pygmy rattlesnake. I'll see you guys next time with possibly an even cooler snake.
These snakes are a great representative of the venomous snakes that thrive in the pine savannas of North Florida, and I've spent years studying them without actually seeing them in the wild, so you can imagine why I was quite starstruck.
Hell yeah!
If you enjoyed this episode of Snakes on the Brain, let me know by giving this video a like, and if you want to learn about other snakes I've caught, make sure to subscribe.
I have to sneeze again. Alright, let me think if there's anything else I want to mention before I go. Buddy! Here, what if I turned you that way? Will that make you feel better? You're supposed to look at me. Where are you going?